Welcome back. The time is 9:12 on this 21st day of March. We are almost there, Craig Lombardi. We're almost there. The finish line's in sight.
You cannot wait till April 2nd. What are you going to talk about after that? I mean, my gosh.
I know my show's going to really start dying out on the bike.
We are trying to talk about weeds. And no, you're like, yeah, so no.
Well, and you've been, going through this and, taking every day by day and pushing through it. Are you leaving it all out on the field and ready for April 2nd?
Oh, absolutely. It's been a great experience. Something that I did not think, I did not realize that it would be this crazy, but I enjoy it. And, like I tell people, just continue to go out and vote. I hope they do vote for me. It's been a wild ride. I love it.
So, take me through. So what did you expect out of it at first? Like, what was your first kind of initial perception of what running for mayor would be like?
I don't know. You hear the terms of politics, and I've gotten to see some true colors of some people. I'm pretty. Most people that know me know I'm pretty straightforward, and I'm not really. I don't play a big game and talk craziness. But I've gotten some things said, and I just kind of push in the background, and I've learned that, and people play the political game. I just keep going forward and trying to do the best I can, and telling people, hey, this is the difference between myself and the current administration, and I have nothing against the current administration. So I love Godfrey. It's just I just don't think we have a plan going forward. So there's a difference in the two candidates.
Right.
Well, Beth, not sure really, but myself and Mike, we just have differences. So.
Well, and before we dive into the mayor's race and your thoughts on the platform, let's go back to really your involvement in village politics and what led to local government for you. I mean, what really kind of got you involved?
I say it every time. He probably hates my guts, but Ben Allen is, to me, is brilliant. He has built. He's just such a great businessman, and I love the family, and I used to talk to him a lot, and I just was enamored. I was like, he was a trustee, and we started talking. He said, Craig, you need to go to these meetings. I went for literally, I did not miss a year and a half. I loved it. I loved being involved. I'm so involved in this community as it is anyway. So like I do 100 million things. But this was even more. So then I ran for trustee, and I love it. And I know a lot of people, and so I said, I think Godfrey needs to move in a direction to get younger families, and we don't really have a plan right now. Godfrey's great, and I'm part of that. The trustees that we are, and Ben Allen was part of that. But I said there needs to be a change to help Godfrey go forward, and so that's why I stepped in.
Really cool. And, what you learn along the way, too, because whenever you're watching and observing, and I'm sure you're having, conversations with, some of the trustees just to gain their knowledge and their insights. But when you're actually on the board, what's the difference between that? Because it seems like, when you're in that position, the whole difference is kind of the fourth wall's gone in a way where, the public out is now, reaching out to you, you're answering to the public in this position. Was there any kind of takeaway from that for you, or was it just kind of businesses, I hate to say business as usual for you, but just kind of who you are? Or was it just kind of stepping into anything else?
Well, I try to run this as this has nothing to do with me. This is everybody in Godfrey. This is their community. They're the ones that are making the calls. The 6 trustees, in my eyes, our job is to make sure that we are the voice for Godfrey. And I've always made it a point to listen to everyone. It may not be what I agree with, and then go forward with it. So, as far as what you're saying there, it's about the people of Godfrey. There's purposely, I did not take a lot of money because I don't want to owe people. Right. There are people who are $50,000, $60,000. Trust me, CJ, you owe people when you are taking that money. I did not want to do that. I want to be able to say, hey, guess what? This is right for Godfrey, not for this business over here. And so, I think I'll run that like that as my mayor. So
well, and before we move on to the mayor stuff, what on the board of trustees, the village board, do you think you're most proud of? Just in your time that you've been there.
Well, here's a perfect example. if anybody would have went there, there was a Peachy paused. There was This was a huge ordeal. This was brought into the trustee meeting.
Yep.
And if anybody would have went to that meeting, so they looked at it and they said, "Oh my gosh, congratulations, Mayor." The mayor didn't do that. Like, if you would have watched, it was either going to be a 3B or a 4B. Okay, 3B meaning I'm trying to make this simple as possible. Mm-hmm. It would have been a business. Her business would have made it there. But if somebody would have complained, they would have shut it down. She said, "There's absolutely no way that we're going to do that." There were 2 trustees that were pretty adamant about doing that. Nobody was going to say anything. If I would not have stepped up and said, "We're going to do a 4. We need to do a 4. We need younger families. We need all this," we would have voted on it. It would have been a 3B. She would not have had a business. So as a trustee, I was very proud of getting the young business in, the Dyer family, who is going to be they're a great asset to it. That was a lot of me that put that in there. The pickleball court lights, mm-hmm. I went out and we said, "We can't get this grant. There's no grant available." Mm-hmm. "No, there's not. No, there's not." I'm like, "Yes, there is. I know there is because I've talked to people." We found a grant for $150,000. We not only got lights, but we got $70,000 worth of equipment that the people and taxpayers of Godfrey paid zero for.
Wow.
That was, so I'm always looking at things as a trustee, and I would do the same thing as a mayor. I have a lot of connections, and I just I'm always looking at things. So
yeah, see, and I didn't watch the trustee meeting the other night whenever that was getting proposed. Yep. Was that the most recent one that was going on?
It was two times ago, and it was a huge.
Yeah, no, it was a big meeting. I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I don't understand what was going on. So was it an open discussion that led to it getting brought to the floor? Like, just so I can go back and understand.
It was, and honestly, I got so many calls, and I love it because that's how Godfrey should be. There were so many people from both sides calling, and I said to these people, "Come to the meeting and please discuss this." Mm-hmm. When I went to that meeting, I had no idea how I was going to vote. And after listening and talking to everyone in this meeting, there were 30 people who talked. I made my decision to say, this is what we need to do. We have to, I run my campaign on younger families coming here, younger families, very powerful, bringing businesses in here. Mm-hmm. And if I would have let this go, they would have been a 3B. We would not have had Peachy. We would not have had this business there.
Well,
it's just a fact. I mean, I sat there and watched it. I think I portrayed myself and explained this to all the other trustees, and we voted on it, and we said yes. So, that's...
And see, now that's what I find fascinating too, is that, after you make the decision, what's some of the feedback that, you kind of get, or that you have, afterwards with the trustees after a big vote like that? Do you guys talk about it afterward? Because
absolutely. We have, I will tell you, I love Sarah Woodman's very smart. Rick Lauschke's very smart. Jeff Weber is the smartest guy, I'm telling you. But, they do their things. Mike Fisher's great. Karen McAtee. But you have to do your research to be on a trustee. So people, you've had them on, Gerard and Ryan, and I'm not... Nothing against them. I don't know anything, but there's a lot of work of being a trustee.
Well, and see, that's what I was going to, and we talk about that with the Alton Alderman-Matic candidates too, and even the board candidates that are running for school board, it's that learning transition too, and so how do you think that there's ever going to be a way that you can, and I hate to use the word like a transition of power, because I just don't think a month ever is enough time, and that's not something you can do here locally, but it just seems like there could be a better way of, if somebody wins, and this is their first time in office, having some type of, I don't want to say course, but at least some type of knowledge of how the procedures of the board work and all that, a little bit more in depth.
Well, so I talk about this all the time. People say, "Oh my gosh, we'd love to have you as a mayor," and what do you think about? And I go, honestly, it's hard to say now, but my vision would be probably 2 terms here. I don't want to. But as you're doing this, you should be talking to somebody and molding them and saying, "This is what we're doing going forward."
Right.
So when the time comes, you have somebody there, a couple people there that you could say, hey, guess what? Now, I'm fortunate because I'm a trustee and I do a lot of research. So I think I know I'm ready to be the mayor.
Right.
So, but you're exactly right. I came into it. If I wouldn't have went there for a year and a half and really studied it and had great mentors, because I did pop things off of Ben Allen. He was great. And then Jeff Weber, I'm telling you, we don't always disagree. We don't always agree with stuff. He is the smartest man, and he was such a great help to me. Rick Lauschke, same thing. So
yeah, it's just one of those interesting points. Though it's just like, man, a couple of weeks to learn. Especially if you haven't gone to those meetings, for
You're
those
done.
years. With that being said, too, you mentioned the pickleball courts.
Yep.
Do you see more of that type of family, recreation going forward? Maybe not on Stamper Lane, because I don't know how much, land's left over there. But, even down the 255 court, do you see some type of family rec, expansion somewhere else?
Well,
or even there?
Here's it's a much bigger picture, and I'm sure we'll talk about this here in a minute. But if you do a plan, it's like right now we don't have a plan. We don't know what we're doing going forward. What I suggest is you have to have a plan with timelines to say, what are we going to look like in a year, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years? You have to be able to have some kind of image of what you're going to look like. Mm-hmm. And you talk to the citizens of Godfrey, but I do believe, like me personally, that we should have a sports complex in Godfrey. We talk about great parks. They're good. Trust me.
Right.
But they're not great. If you had a sports complex, what are they doing in the fall and the winter and different things like that? I got a meeting with Dr. T, Dr. Tresca from Lewis and Clark, Corey Jobe. That's kind of been pushed to the side. The mayor's talked about a gym several times. We don't need a gym. How do you get the money to do this? You have to work with your Lewis and Clarks and your Corey Jobes and all these people to try to figure it out. But if you're going to get younger families, again, you have to have something here for them.
And we'll talk.
It's not just one pickleball court.
Right. And we'll talk about the family stuff and the plan and all that here in the next break, because there's so many opportunities when it comes to enclosing some type of soccer or volleyball thing for, the region, because there's not very much of that around. But going back, and the reason I brought this up is your involvement with these local sports organizations. And there's no taking away from that, too, because no matter what, you're volunteering, with the Alton Athletic Association and, various other groups, too, around town. What are some of the conversations, not even while you're running for mayor, but have you ever thought back of maybe, some of the things that you've done in, the Alton Athletic Association or some of the other groups, and you go, you know what? This is something that I want to do if I ever get an opportunity to do so. And that's why I brought up the pickleball, because it leads into sports. But is there anything kind of like that, if you're picking up what I'm saying here?
Absolutely. So, your grandfather was a huge advocate for this area. He to me was one of the biggest advocates and such a strong and powerful by running the Alton Park and Rec. He ran a great program. He actually got me at Alton High. He was a monster, and he made me get into playing college soccer just because of what he did. But I love youth. Yeah. Community active sports. It's great for kids. It's great for their mental image, everything. My kids used to play St. Louis Scott Gallagher, okay? And they played all these huge select sports over here. Godfrey and Alton needed that here. I talked to Robert Steffen, and Robert Steffen stepped up, and the Alton Irish was formed. The Bluff City Baseball was formed. Oh, wow. You need these organizations locally to do this. Saying that, we have a phenomenal parks program at Godfrey. Now, it didn't hurt that Alton was kind of messed up here, and so our numbers are great. But you have to have a strong park and rec system. So you start here, then, perfect example, I used to talk to you about your middle school program that you coached last year. Yeah. These guys are so fortunate to have you.
Skylar Funk now doing it.
Skylar Funk's doing it. If you don't have it starting from a park and rec, then you can go to a Bluff City or an Alton Irish, and then you go to a middle school program. How do you think these other schools and these other cities are developing, you start at an early age. And if we don't do that, which I believe that we can and we will, man, Alton and Godfrey can be just such a great.
Well, you're right. And it goes beyond just having it. You have to create a community with it, too.
That's it.
You know, I mean, you got to make the kids excited to go to these things at a young age. Otherwise, it's going to be a job, and then they're done at 12, you know, and they're mentally clocked out and ready to move on down the road. So that's why I brought it, because it's so fascinating just to hear a little bit more about your sports background and
love it.
Some of the things that
I love sports. Your dad is one of my favorites also. So, I mean, I just think it's great for the community and great for the kids.
Now, before we take our first break here, just because you are the radio background and everything else, did you ever find yourself thinking, like, 20 years ago or 10 years ago that, Craig Lombardi, goes on air every, and does the sales and everything, that you'd be running in any type of form or be interested in local government?
I did.
Did you really?
And first of all, here's the funny part about this is I say this every time. We here in Alton are so fortunate to have yourself, John, who runs this, Sydney. This is a gold mine. Sorry that you're over here, but the WBT, like we don't have this. Most cities do not have this. We are very fortunate, and I thank you all the time. So great for the community. So saying that, I also worked for 97.1, 101.9, which is actually the top news talk station, KMOX. I have been around political my whole life. It's kind of funny because, the mayor says, hey, this guy endorses this. Well, I helped Chris Lusser, get his Amy Ellick, all these people get in there because I was, I was part of the 97.1 and the 101.9, all these political machines. So I've been around it my whole life. I've always wanted to do it. So
really interesting.
When I was just talking, it was funny because I was just talking to Tim Jones and we were talking about that. He's Speaker of the House and he's on 101.9 and Jamie Allman. They asked me the same thing. They're like, gosh, I go, I'm around it all the time. So I have been around it my whole life. I have connections more than probably most. We talk about, hey, we know this person. I know a lot of people. So I will use that when I become mayor also. So
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Really cool. And then before we take a break, to one final family, how are they doing with all this? Are they supporting you on this? The family been great through it all too? Because I always like to ask about that because it is
they hate
a team.
Me? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
It's such
You're
a
right.
team
It
effort,
is.
Man.
It is so different. It's different. Absolutely. They're always supportive of me. My family is great. They always support me. And
you gotten any tips yet or any criticism? Got any coaching going on over there?
Yes, every night I walk in, they throw stuff. No, I'm just kidding with you. Why'd you say that, Dad? What'd you do that for? That's just my whole life.
That's
so anyway,
great,
but no, I love it.
Hey, it's 9:30 on the nose. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with trustee for the Village of Godfrey and candidate for mayor for the Village of Godfrey, Craig Lombardi, with more right after this. You stay here, we'll stay here on RiverBender.com, Roku TV.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 9:32, a little bit of change on this Friday morning. Back with Craig Lombardi, candidate for mayor, Village of Godfrey. You know, getting back into some of the local stuff that's going on and just some of the more current things, what's it like running for office and then also, I mean, because you're running for a different seat, but you're still a trustee and, that job comes first. You know, with what's going on right now, how do you balance it?
Well, when I was a trustee, I run unopposed the first time, so I really didn't have to do much, which was kind of crazy. I love this. I love the aspect of talking to people, getting to know. I mean, I have literally knocked on doors and doors and doors and doors and went to events and talked to people. It's just great to get to know them and to try to figure out. And, they all have opinions. Everybody has an opinion. So I love it. I mean, that's what I've done. It's my job in media. I talk to people and business owners every day of my life. So yeah, it's definitely been interesting.
Well, and whenever you have all the village business going on too, do you find it ever difficult to like manage because you got to do like peachy paws and all that, and you still have your trustee meetings. Yep. Do you have like a way just to balance, or do you just kind of take it as it comes with the day?
Well, it's kind of funny because most people who know me literally know how I am. I'm crazy. Like literally, I mean, I'm going to. I announce all the Alton High baseball games. I will announce tonight.
Oh, are
3
you?
games. I'm at every concession stand. It's just in my DNA to do this. My job, I'm always working. I've been the top rep for 25 years or one, if not the top rep. And people ask me, how do you oh my gosh, how do you do? And I go, I don't really go to sleep until I have everything done, because the next day there's going to be something shifted. So, being a trustee, I answer every phone call, every email. I go to talk to people. It is what it is. It's part of my DNA. I enjoy it. So.
Really, and right now too, is there anything that's we already hit on peachy paws and but the roundabouts coming in, coming in soon. What are your people's thoughts on the roundabout? Is that become a campaign issue? Because I mean, it's coming no matter what, so it's not even an issue.
So
it's just the thought.
My answer to that is, it's coming no matter what.
Okay.
I don't want to give an opinion either way. I will say this: when I become mayor, I will do the best job to make it accessible and in the easiest way possible for everybody to get around. I mean, I live there. Everybody lives there. The only thing I will say to your comment is, when there are issues like this coming forward, I will make sure that I talk to the people of Godfrey and make sure that I'm doing the best for what they need. So it's communication. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
You kind of take it from there. But you know, you need to be talking to the people of Godfrey. They're the most important. Godfrey's about them. So.
Interesting. Well, and now, too, with Godfrey, it's so fascinating because you guys have this geography where you're going. You have a lot of rural area. You got some suburban stuff. You got some really tight neighborhoods, and then you got commercial. So whenever you're looking at this, you know, when you're talking about this, what are your thoughts just about? I mean, the elephant in the room is the comprehensive plan. You know, it's what kind of the bingo card is. What are your thoughts on just the plan going forward?
I love that. So people get confused. They say, well, comprehensive plan. They bring, anyways.
It's been driving me crazy.
Well, it's people misunderstood everything. We have a comprehensive plan.
Right.
Right now, we have a comprehensive plan. The problem and the difference between myself and the current administration is they don't act. They don't have a timeline. They don't know what we're going to look like in the future. So when I talk about a comprehensive plan, my idea is this. You have to figure out what you're going to try to look like in a year, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years, so you can have selective growth, okay? And what I mean by that is you control the narrative in this. We don't even know where our corridor is. Go ask the mayor right now, where's our corridor? We don't know where it's at. How do we not know? And if we don't know what it is, how do you expect a business to come in here, a retail? How do you expect a home builder to come in here? If we don't know. So what you need to do, CJ, is you get a professional comprehensive plan. So when people hear that, they're like it's comprehensive plan. That's just a piece of it. But you need to get a professional company to come in here. Then you need to get your business leaders. We have some of the greatest business leaders. You talk to a Ben Allen, you talk to a Jeff Weber, you talk to a Corey Jobe, you talk to a Dr. Tresca, John Keller. Then you talk to the trustees, along with the most important piece of this is the people of Godfrey. So when you get all of these together, this comprehensive, the people of Godfrey, you get this picture of what we're going to look like in a year, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years. Most important part of this is you have to follow through with it.
Right. Well, and see, that's the big thing is what's the check and balance has been because I've asked everybody.
We don't have one. That's the problem.
Well, and it is. And so that's what, I've asked trustee candidates this and mayoral candidate. What would you do to ensure the check and balance? Because it does, this is a project that costs money to do. And, so.
You should be having meetings with your economic developer at least once a month, if not more. We canceled 6 out of 12 last year, 6 of our meetings. You should have, that is the most important thing to me. You might even have 2. These are very important things. So when you have these conversations, you have to I know you're going to have somebody there to checks and balance. You're going to have to say, here's the deal. It's 3 months. Where are we at? What are we looking at? We don't do that. Those are things that are super important to what we're going to look like in the future. And I keep saying selective growth. If you do not, what I mean by that, sorry.
I get what you're saying on that.
Yeah,
and that's
ahead.
what I wanted to ask you too, because that's the follow-up is when it comes to selective growth, is it going to be, because you brought up the Godfrey residents and what they would like, and it's all kind of mixed in with this, plan and developing this whole idea. What is it going to be the guidelines for that selective growth? Is it going to be based on what the voters want, what the taxpayer wants?
Yeah, it's what you're going to come up with, this plan and this vision. So if I say, hey, I want to look, in order to get younger families in here, you're going to have to give them something that they can have. And so I don't know if this is the case. These are just visions that I have, but I will tell you, to me, you should be looking at a sports complex. That's going to get younger families here. What about maybe even a little amphitheater or some kind of music? What about your food trucks or little, oh my gosh, what do they have in Alton? Every Saturday morning, the flea market.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that's the answer, But you have to be talking about these things, CJ. And how do we bring this? And again, the most important part about it is we have an older demographic in Godfrey too.
True.
Listen, my mother and Dr. Brown, like he passed, but they know everyone. That's my family. I know every one of these people. They need to be taken care of also. True. I understand that. But you also, if you're not growing and having this growth, you're never going to get these kids, and you're going to stay here. I love Godfrey. Don't get me wrong. We've done a great job. So Mayor talks about no taxes and parks. I'm part of that. Rick Lauschke, all the trustees, everybody's part of that. Mm-hmm. But how are we going to move forward is the key to everything. And I do believe that I have a great vision for that. And you talk to the people of Godfrey and they tell you, so instead of maybe 10 restaurants, we want 3. And then we come to Bella Milano and we say, we're only going to have 3. Would you like to be part of this? And this is how we're going to look like. Right. If we don't, you're going to continue to get Dollar Trees across from Walmart, which is one of your primo lands. I'm just saying.
Well, you're not wrong, and that's what I was leading into as well, because you brought up the restaurant discussion. Because I mean, there is that notion of how many Buffalo Wild Wings is too many Buffalo Wild Wings. But when it comes to the other side of business too, you got this evolution now where, I mean, really tech companies can go anywhere they wanted to. And if you wanted to have an incubator system or some type of, AI network or you name it now, I mean, really any land, you just need some land to do it on. And so I didn't know if that was one of those things where, the selective growth is, targeting certain sectors of the economy and just making sure that fits your vision.
That's why I think that's where the professional comprehensive plan is. You have to figure out where a corridor is. Yeah. I mean, to me personally, I would love to have a little downtown. What happened to the crosstown roads? We were talking 17 years ago. That was a huge ordeal. Why did we drop that? So these are conversations of, Godfrey could be the most phenomenal things. You're 15 minutes from beautiful Grafton, 10 minutes from beautiful downtown Alton. You are 10 minutes from 255. This is a gold mine here. You have to control how much that you put in here, but you also can do that. And then you control the whole narrative, and again, that's what I talk about.
Yeah, no, very interesting. And then going into this rec center, recplex idea that's been discussed a couple of times now. What do you? Because you mentioned an indoor or a complex of sorts, and maybe not a gym. What would it look like for you after if you really had that conversation? I know you have to talk with people, but if you could envision it yourself, what would it be if you could paint it right now?
Honestly, I think you have I always say you do things correctly the first time that you do it, and then you don't have to worry about it. So you don't want to piecemeal this together and you get a one basketball court gym. No. You probably, if I picture this, I'm looking at like maybe a nice 4-court, nice basketball that can be used for pickleball, maybe even a walking track of something of nature. We have great fitness clubs around the area, so I don't know if you necessarily need that. Don't know, but those are little things. Then you find the location. I look at it and I go, man, right next to Lewis and Clark, they have the Lewis and Clark baseball. You work with them and possibly use that area. Then you've got your whole park to do whatever you want. You need a great location for that, and I think you do this correctly, and you could the taxpayers would not have to pay for this, and it would be great it'd just be great for the city in general. Well, and that's what I was curious about, because you brought up sports tourism and all that, and the big thing is, I mean, this sports barn in Wood River is doing some pretty good things. I mean, you drive by that sucker, it's full of baseball and softball all the time, and because you're right, our parks sit empty for 6 months in the wintertime because no sports team can go out there, and that's where this thought is. I mean, you have all this land. Is it worth doing or looking into an indoor turf facility for a multi-sport use? It is, in my opinion, for sure worth looking into. I mean, we talk about it and then we just kind of push it into to the top drawer over there. So like you can't do that. Like you need to be progressing forward. And I do believe Corey Jobe is a great asset to Godfrey. You need to be talking to him. You need to be talking to Dr. Truska. You need to be talking to John Keller and all these people who are great for the community. Possibly, and I don't know because I don't want to throw this name out there, but as you're doing these different things and you're working with Lewis and Clark and all these different things, you hopefully have conversations with John Simmons and you just start talking to people because Godfrey needs these things, and it's little things.
Yeah, it's just something to bring up because it goes right into that line of what this Recplex conversation could look like or might evolve into. Who knows?
Yep.
Dog park's getting built here.
Yep.
And there's some other projects that are kind of getting started and completed. What are your thoughts on like the Woodman trip? Because that's just things that are happening right now throughout Godfrey. What are some of the things that you're more excited about just seeing develop? Because you've been on the trustee board, you're a part of the team as well.
I think the bike trail is great. I think it. I love health, anything active, and I think that's going to bring in. That will help youth, but that's where you can't just stop there.
Right.
The dog park. Here's a perfect example of this. People, they were asking for it, so the trustees. And I am on the Park and Rec board.
Oh, are you on? I didn't know you were on the board.
I'm on the Park and Rec board,
That's
and
cool.
we've been talking about this for a year now. How are we going to get a dog park and blah, blah, blah. I was one kind of help to say, hey, guess what? This would be a pretty good idea for people. We're going to see how it shapes out because that's a different beast in itself. But you need to continue to go forward. And, I do believe that a sports complex is going to be great, but the dog park, I think it's good. You just got to continue to go forward. Let's put it that way.
And that's what I was just asking because there's just some of the developments that are going around town. And then one of the other things that I was going to ask you about too is this speeding situation, because there's a lot of people that have been kind of weighing in on social media and just, kind of venting their frustrations of what they're saying is, some pretty erratic driving going down, West Delmar, going into Jerseyville and going through residential areas. And I know that you guys put the speed limit signs up in the barriers and all that. But do you see more of a way to, I mean, because you're working with Madison County, but is there a way to work more closely with, law enforcement partners to make sure that those individuals that do feel like, driving's getting a little bit erratic around the community, it's getting heard?
I'm always an advocate for less speeding and safety. Honestly, if you go down by Walmart and Pierce Lane, that to me is the most hazardous thing. I don't think people understand that has nothing to do with Godfrey. That's Madison County
right.
that does that. I always will for sure look at safety. We just, Kevin Gross, he was talking about the new bike trail and the safety back there. That to me is super important to make sure that the families, the kids, and the people who are driving around there, I will go back there. I will continue to go back there until we got safe on that. So I will for sure work with the trustees and the Madison County. I love Madison County, by the way. I think they do a great job.
Oh, absolutely.
For us.
Yeah, they do. They do a great job.
You just have those conversations, but safety is huge for me.
And that's just what it was, because that's the big thing. You guys really do have a good working relationship as a village with the county and doing those things.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Well, and going forward, where do you see Godfrey going in terms of development and housing? Is it more neighborhoods? Is it more just one-time houses that are being built by families? What do you envision going forward in your mind? Just
so I will answer that two ways. Under our current administration, I don't really see it going anywhere. I just don't think we have a plan, and I don't really know if we even know which way we're going to be. If I'm elected as mayor, I would definitely look at the crosstown roads.
What is that? Just because I'm not familiar.
That's if you come up Clifton Terrace, okay, and you come to the top there's a stop sign, and you look out. There is acres and acres and acres. So what, at one time they were talking about taking that and going all the way around to Lars Hoffman and that connecting, okay? So you're connecting this. I don't know if that's the answer, but I would certainly look at that. And you talk to the home builders, and again, it all starts with everything I talked about before. You should have a professional, comprehensive plan. Talking with the citizens of Godfrey, it really all comes into to one full circle. But I do see us having more subdivisions, and what they look like, not sure. That's for everybody to try to figure that out. So
well, and before we take our next break, what's been the biggest conversation that you've had the most frequent conversation you've had with knocking doors? Has it been about safety? Has it been about roads? Has it been about what's been on the top of the folks' minds?
What are we going to look like? What will we look like, Craig? We don't really know. And I answer the same thing every time. I agree with you. I also hear, when people do say, we're happy how we are. And I agree with them. Like, I'm happy right now. But I have a 25, 23-year-old and 18-year-old kid who probably are not going to live here. There's nothing for them going forward. If you have a sports complex and you have some retail and you have some businesses that are conducive to younger families and jobs for younger families, why would you not want to be here? Because you're right next to everything. I just told you can go to Grafton, you can go to Alton downtown, you can go to your 255. Younger families would be there. So
interesting. Well, and that's a great pausing point right now, and we'll take our final break, and we'll come back with more of this conversation. State of the Race coverage 2025 with Trustee Craig Lombardi and candidate for Godfrey Mayor. More after this.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nastello on RiverBender.com.
Arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby.
The time is 9:55 on this Friday morning. 21st day of March, back with the trustee for the Village of Godfrey and candidate for the mayor's seat in the Village of Godfrey. We're a couple of weeks away. Do you have your election night party planned?
I do not. I guess I need.
What are you doing?
I need to do that. So you just asked a question earlier. What do I trying to learn that? Like I've gotten asked for this. My buddies who own 101.9 News Talk, they're great people. It's actually the top conservative station out there, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing for that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So I guess I'll sit at my house and say congratulations. Or it's the funny part about it is April 1st, and it's my son's birthday. So I told him, "You're either going to have a good birthday or a bad birthday."
Oh, God.
No, it's going to be good either way. Trust me. Either way,
that would be awesome. But oh man, I hope with it being a birthday, that's kind of a bad day for an election. Regardless.
Yeah, it's April Fool's. Yeah, it's the worst of all.
It's kind of ironic that it's April Fool's Day.
Yes, it is.
But it's it's at least you got your plans made up.
Yeah.
So no party in the future, no election party. You don't think you're going to merge the two?
I guess I'm late to the thing. I probably will be looking at this week.
You got to look at it, Chris.
I know.
Come on now. So with that being said, you have some folks that have been supporting you along the way, and
yes.
What's it mean to you, to kind of look back now? I mean, it's a long journey to get to this point. To know that you had a lot of people that were really coming out for you and supporting you along the way.
It means everything. I'll never mention names. Because I know how this town works and different things of this nature. I've been here my whole life, so I get it. But it's great to see just people supporting you, people trying to help you out. Those are great things. I've also got to see the other side of it, which is kind of crazy. But I will tell you, everybody that has helped me out, I cannot thank you enough. I mean, it takes an army to do this. I will just tell you that.
Well, and with that being said too, it takes an army to raise a village up and keep moving it forward, because you look around, and this isn't a slight in any town or any community around here. It's just you take a look, like in other races, and not just mayor seats, but hell, even the Collinsville Library Board's getting a little bit contested. And it's then you look back at Godfrey, where some things have kind of gotten a little bit tense at times, but it seems like really everyone's trying their best just to plead their case in a lot of the ways. And it just, to me, it's a good testament to how you guys are really trying what's best for everybody.
We try to do that. I try to do that. There's been some things that have been done to me, which is out of my control. But again, the only thing you can do, and it's the same thing of what you're doing as a mayor is, when I get in there, you have to do what's right for Godfrey, and you have to be able to talk and put things down. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm not going to talk to this trustee because I'm the mayor," right. and I'm mad at you. So little things like that. You have to be able to work with your trustees. I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact that I'll be able to work with all the trustees. That's very important. And I'll listen to the people of Godfrey. That's really who you're working for. It doesn't matter what I want. So
and that's interesting too. And what do you so let's say everything goes right for you on April 1st, you win, and then in a month's time you're the mayor of Godfrey. Mm-hmm. What's day one look like for Craig Lombardi? Have you even gotten that far yet?
Absolutely. You have to understand me. I have a plan for everything, and there's a reason I've been very successful at everything I do. I plan out. I have 20 shirts ironed at any time because I don't know what's going to happen. That's just me. Yeah, my first day, absolutely. I want to sit down with every individual at the Village of Godfrey and talk to them and find out what they're doing, what are they planning on doing going forward, and how this, I want to know everything about that, and talk to, I will also talk to people who have done this in the past. It's not about me, and I'm not like my way is a highway. It's not. I want to learn from all the people in the past, what they have done, what's been successful and what's not. So yeah, I can't wait to talk to I know a lot of them, but I want to know more. I think Rich Barron is phenomenal. I can't wait to talk to him, be perfectly honest with you, because I want to know what Tony Kane, tell me more. So little things like that are going to be great conversations for me.
Well, and see, that's just what I find fascinating too, because Godfrey's in an interesting place because you have a chance to grow. I mean, everyone's on the same page when it comes to grow. It's just what's it look like and what's the plan and X, Y, and Z and whatever you want to throw out there on the bingo card. Whenever it comes to the opportunity to work with other communities, and I'm not saying that you got to partner up and create some metroplex and have like this 1950s New World, metropolis town, but is there any vision for you to connect with the Grafton more, to connect to a Jerseyville?
So that is the greatest point. I've said this many times. I don't think we do that enough or at all. I don't know, but I think it is the most important to be talking. Whoever's the next mayor of Alton, I better be having conversations with them, because Alton and Godfrey are right here. Do not misunderstand when I say we need to be talking. Alton and Godfrey are completely two different beasts. So Godfrey will have its own. So don't get freaked out and say, oh my gosh, we're going to be just like Alton. Not at all. But if you're not having conversations with that, or Grafton, or Jerseyville, or Wood River, what are you doing? Like, these are your surrounding communities, and you need to feed off that as well as they need to feed off what you're looking to do. Because, use as an example, if they're Alton's looking for a Chick-fil-A and we're looking for a Chick-fil-A, and that's what the citizens want, I'm fighting for that. I'm just using an example, but you should be having conversations with Alton.
Right.
Tremendously. So, yeah.
Well, I get what you're saying, though, because there's certain things that you can work together on and certain things that you got to be competitive friends to, and no matter if it's an Alton or a Wood River or you name it going forward. When it comes to just, because we have about 10 minutes left here, when it comes to just the local education that's provided in Godfrey, because, Lewis and Clark's, obviously one of the biggest community college and one of the nicest in the area, no matter what people think about it when they see their tax bill, and you got various high schools. What can you do, Mayor, to create, is there any programs that you would create for like trades, or, where it comes to the cities involved, the villages involvement, not what you can force school districts to, because that's totally different. But when it comes to just, the village, what they can do in some type of, mentorship programs or some type of, any type of service that you could provide from that front.
That is a phenomenal question. I love our school district. My wife has worked there 32 years. She knows everybody. Elaine Kane is phenomenal to me. Christy Baumgartner, who was there before, Wendy Adams. These are, I know these people tremendously. I know the ins and outs. I am a huge advocate of our school district here. We're spoiled because we don't really understand it, but we have things that you cannot get elsewhere. I'm also, I hate to say it, but it's in Alton, but Marquette we have a great Catholic school there. We have evangelical.
Residents go to Marquette.
So you're talking to these schools, but I don't have anything in particular just yet, but I will tell you, I will have conversations with Elaine Kane and Dr. Adams and I will probably have it with Christy too, because, she was a huge part of this. And we will talk about different things. And is there something that's going to make sense for somebody in Godfrey that we can do education wise? And I have a great relationship with Dr. Tresca. So do we have a conversation with Lewis and Clark? We're also spoiled. That to me is one of the nicest, if not the nicest community colleges around. Why are we not using that more? So education is a huge thing for me, and I do believe I have the relationships to have these conversations and move forward.
We have about 5 minutes left, but I want to go back to your idea of this downtown, because I find this fascinating. Because now that I'm listening to your crosstown roads thing, and it makes sense to have if your vision was to fall perfectly aligned and the sky's cleared tomorrow, to look at this downtown, what would a downtown Godfrey look like? And that's, it's one to ponder because, here's
the thing. So it's finding a corridor that you do this in. I know White Birch is in Alton, but like you have these beautiful small businesses, and you make them. And Delmar House, like, I don't know where it's going to be, but that's where you come up with an idea and make this. You have some cool little coffee shops. You have some cool little White Birches, around here where people can walk down, up and down, and guess what? They can go shopping for a day. I'm not talking about big, elaborate, like, hey, miles and miles, but you could have a cool little downtown corridor. Mm-hmm. How does that look? And picture? I've pictured it many times. But without somebody professionally coming in and saying, this is a realistic way of doing this, Craig, then I can't. But I do think it would be I know it would be really nice to have it downtown.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, it's just a thought because you brought and it's just a fascinating topic, really. And before I let you go, and we give you your closing thoughts here. What are you going to do to ensure that, because the tax, rate is low, you guys you should be proud of that. Mm-hmm. What can you do to ensure that kind of stays the way it is and stays as low as it has been?
Well, I have been part of that for the last 2 years. We've voted to keep the taxes down. I think people don't understand, with COVID and stuff, we did get a lot of grants to help us out with those. Okay, mm-hmm. So that was great. I do know, though, again, that's finding out who's doing it. I know Rich does very well at grants. I will probably have conversations with the Christy Baumgartner and looking at, you have to be looking at grants to keep everything and different things of keeping the taxes down. The key here, though, is if you incentivize businesses and home builders to come in here and you give them little tax breaks, you take a little bit of this money to give them tax breaks. When they come here, now they're paying extra taxes. You put that right back in there, plus the extra. That's how you keep taxes down. It's a easy concept. It's a super easy concept. So you have to incentivize, and we have the money to incentivize. You keep 80% of that. You don't touch that. And then you take those taxes and it makes extra taxes. So anyways.
Interesting. Well, and just one of those things that, one of the other talked about topics in the village race, it seems like, too, every once in a while. Before I let you go, I am going to I'm making a proposal. If I ever run for mayor in 20 years in Alton, I'm going to make it Alton Road. I think I'm just going to start declaring things. Just so you know, in case you're still there.
Alton Road?
Yeah, Alton Road.
Or CJ Road?
No. Alton Road. It's ours now. With that being said, before I let you go, what's your final thought to the voters, your friends, and anybody that's maybe still on the fence for Craig Lombardi on April 1st?
I want to say thank you again for having me on. I want to thank everybody that has went out and voted, no matter what it is. I hope that everybody has done their research, because there is a difference between myself and the current administration. I do think, I know that if you do elect me, Godfrey will have a great future going forward. I will work tremendously hard. Everybody who knows me knows I have the work ethic, and I have what is the best interest for Godfrey. And like I said, I can't thank you enough, the people who have helped me and the people who have went out and just voted in general. And I hope on April 2nd that I am the mayor of Godfrey, and thank you very much. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Craig Lombardi, thank you so much for your time,
CJ,
and best of
always.
luck April 1st.
Appreciate you.
We'll take a quick break here. State of the Race coverage continues right after this with former mayor and candidate for mayor again, Brant Walker. He's outside in the green room, we'll call it.
Yes.
He'll come back right in the studio after this.